LHi Insights. We are in not so sunny New York today, and we're joined by a very special guest, Ben Neves, our SciPro VP of Client Development. We are at Lafayette, and this is as a very special place in my heart for this particular man, which we'll talk about shortly. But an informal insight to Ben and his journey. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for flying all over the world.
Yeah. After nearly 10 years in your previous firm, paint us a picture of where you are to even contemplate a conversation to move away.
Yeah, I started there after college. It was all I knew. I was referred in by a life mentor of mine. Thought, he was actually helping me through the interviewing process, got me in, had a ton of success early on. I recruited actually for my first year because we were 180. I recruited for my first year closer to like our Harper Harrison brand, non-technical and technical. But the first year went really well. One of the fastest growing. Got into a sales role, and honestly, like it was something I enjoyed so much, and kind of got obsessive with my business and building a business, and success came and rode the wave. I hit our equivalent, we call it contest,
yeah.
But I hit our equivalent of that the next 7-8 years straight. Built a medical device portfolio there, and based out of San Jose, based in the South Bay area, and had my rhythm, built my team up, had a lot of people on my team that I trusted and were killing it. I was killing it. And maybe right before the pandemic, and honestly through the pandemic, there were just a lot of I'll call it macro decisions that impacted myself and people around me that, in recruiting, we all get so close, we spend so much time with each other, and that started kind of cutting at me, and whether it was, moves that were voluntold or macro decision changes, whether it was comp plan or business strategy or divisions or whatever it might have been, because there was a string of them, and finally just got to the point where I needed to prioritize myself and look out better for myself and for my family, and started putting some feelers out there. And I think timing wise, you had incredible first message, reading that, knew even if this wasn't the right place, I had to talk to you, and then just through our conversation, starting to feel the culture, starting to feel what LHi overall could be, but then learning more and more about SciPro, and it definitely intrigued me at first. Didn't plan on committing right away, right? I started having conversations with a lot of different agencies and firms, and look where we are now.
So having worked at a US-based agency prior to joining us, what stood out to you about the differences going through a process and ultimately joining with a UK-based firm?
Well, to be honest, in the moment, I didn't know, I didn't distinguish US or UK.
Sure.
Now that I'm in the business, I feel it and I see it and I understand it a lot more. In the moment, it was just love the accents. To be honest, right? That gripped me as a new world, right? Being in the Bay Area and thinking about a New York move. And honestly, you reached out for the LA role first. They had a brand out in LA. So I think even understanding what I could be for this business or what I could be for this organization, that got my head spinning. But I think the big difference is in the ways that we work and the flexibility. And I think I use that word flexibility. I mean, we typically use it in recruiting in terms of schedule and time frame, both for our clients and for us as when we're recruiting. But flexibility and mindset, I think, is what I meant by that too, and the ways we work, and my boss and leader George Carroll, and the flexibility and understanding of my life and what I need to be successful. But even the way we engage our clients on an everyday basis, being able to talk to a hiring manager and not say, hey, this is our only way of working, or this is how I can support you. Do you have this type of format or this type of model? And, being able to consult my hiring manager or line manager and say, understand their pain points, what do they need, and I can be flexible in whether it's a contract to hire model where my foundation and base was, but now be able to look at perm, engaged, retained searches,
Embedded.
and now building out XPS. Like I have a full suite of solutions that I can, hey, what does this next 6 months, 12 months look like for the business, and how do we work, and how do I support you? And I think that gives me as a client development person just a lot of tools to come to them, and I just never had that before.
Nice. So you touched on there going from being a big fish in a small pond to being going into a much larger market. What have been the key lessons that you've learned along that way?
I thought I was organized, needed to be more organized. I think the ego piece, letting that by your side, I feel like I did a good job of understanding, hey, my new colleagues, my new boss, they don't know me. Which was also nice too. I was able to start fresh, which was, build the relationships from scratch, and be able to kind of carve out a name for myself, which I'm still doing. That was hard at first. But I think being able to kind of put my nose to the pavement, go out and find a new business, being able to build new relationships. I was also going from, I was super niche, specialized, one county market. At the end of my territory, at the end of my journey, my territory was half of a county with 3 skill sets. To be able to go to and build out a whole new niche for LHi and building out med tech and medical device in the US, it's been incredible.
You referenced earlier having different tools at your disposal now. Does that provide more opportunities for you? To your point there about not just expanding the market, but
I can speak with that same type of hiring manager, and just being able to be flexible and understand. I just feel like I'm winning more business that I don't think I could have won in my last spot. To be able to have more models at our disposal, more flexibility in terms of whether it's our contracts and compliance and how we engage with customers. I actually said it to a director of talent acquisition yesterday. She was worried when she was telling me hey, I'm going to send you over our contract. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm like, no, we'll make it work. I have the relationship, and our compliance and contracts team, we will make this work and have it a mutual benefit for both of us. There are so many, whether it's TA or VPs or C-suite, that I would engage, and I wouldn't end up winning the business because how rigid our models were. So since I've been here, this last year that I've been here, I've never engaged and gotten to the contract stage and been walked away from, or we've walked away from the business. That's incredible to say, because in 10 years, I was losing clients every other month just because of rigidity.
Nice. So let's start focusing a little bit more on New York and the SciPro team.
Okay. Great team.
This is where you help me out. What's it about the SciPro team and the culture that's helped you thrive here so far?
The level of support, the level of truth, right? To be able to have a business partner that cares about me as a human, as a husband, as a business person, and then not just be able to whether I come to them or they provide support, not just that first conversation, they're there with me through the process, through the problem resolution, the level of support, level of care and empathy that Zinco, GC, George Carroll, Kat, right, Bianca, Sophia, the leadership team that we have at SciPro, the dynamic, the diversity and thought, being able to bring up a new idea and then be able to pressure test it in the room, right? Zinco will have a new idea. I can kind of poke holes in it. George can have his opinion on it. And then be able, to be at a round table and be able to move forward from that with, knowing that we have each other's backs, knowing that, we all believe in where it's going. But I would say the empathy is incredible. The level of support's incredible. Like the friendship and camaraderie is there. But just knowing that we're all in it together, like on the same path for the same mission, like it's just an incredible team for me to step into. And all of the names that I've shared, like they've all been there for years. Like I'm the newbie on the block, but I've never, outside of maybe not understanding some stuff early on, like just terminology and ways of working, like they've welcomed me with open arms, and I'm super grateful for this team and what they've become in my lives already.
I'm sure they would say the same about you, mate. So
I appreciate it.
So as we referenced earlier, full circle moment from one of our very first conversations that we had here, sponsored by Lafayette. If you didn't know, we've got it all popped up. We're salivating at the prospect of getting one of these cronuts, I think they're called, right? Yeah. So from that first conversation, as we referenced, you relocated from the West Coast to New York.
Yeah.
How's that worked out for you professionally and personally?
I'll start personally. Like, my marriage is incredible. Like the growth that I've had, and I see it when I, now instead of seeing people. Actually, my roommate from San Jose was in town. I saw him 2 days ago. He's in town for his work actually. So my roommate of 3 years, haven't seen him probably for 7-8 months since the holidays, and he mentioned it to me. He's like, dude, you just feel lighter. That's how he described it. He's like, you feel lighter. You don't feel like as burdened. It's like a weight's been lifted. Like, and these are all his words, and that feels good, right? Because I think I would have said the same thing, but to have like an outside perspective say that about me, and I do. I feel like it's taken a weight off. My marriage is incredible. Like, I feel incredible. Like being able to have, my life back, my health back, feels good. So personally, it was an incredible move, scary move, right? Like I don't want to take away from that. Like, I mean, it took me years to get to that point, but extremely grateful that I did. So personally, it was a great move. Professionally, I feel like I had, 8-9 years ago, I had that kind of like exponential run. Yeah. But then, this, I would say the last 3 or 4 years kind of, stagnant a little bit. Yeah. Whether you look at me as a leader or me, as a business person.
Yeah, I would say like maybe, and it's a common thing, but maybe not stagnation in your performance, but your development.
Yeah, like I never want to be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
But I felt like the room that I was in, I might not have been the smartest person IQ-wise, but I wasn't learning. I didn't have that like growth or that like level of development year over year that I once had.
Yeah.
But then if you look at my last 12 months here, like that's happening again.
Yeah.
Right? Like the way, my leaders or the leaders in New York, not just SciPro leaders, but the NYC leaders in LHi, like being able to, provide a different insight, provide different perspectives, challenge me in the way I look at things, the way I solve business issues internally or externally. So that level of like growth is just like rejuvenating. Again, like when you haven't had it in a while. So, after a 10-year career, to be able to take steps in growth development as a business person, as a husband, as a friend, as a man, like, it's just, awakened me, like, truly. So it's been good, really good.
And last question. So just in that, I guess, personal, professional mindset of that relocation itself, someone making that cross-country move, and someone maybe considering getting hit up by me with an opportunity of moving to New York, what's one piece of advice you'd give them to set themselves up for success?
You mean like once they come here, or like as they're thinking about it? Okay, as you're coming here, get James to take you to Lafayette. I think actually, maybe start there. Like, it was good for me to see and feel. Like I took the leap to like see the office, feel the office. Like, I think that was a big move. Like, I took a weekend trip. Being able to see kind of like where I could live, get the feel of the city, but feel the office, feel of the people. Because
I think that gut feeling's important, right?
Yeah, like see that space. I think be truthful with like what you're looking for too. Like I think you helped me, and you were transparent with me of like, hey, this is what LHI could bring. Hey, this is where we might, it might look a little bit different. So like, you and I were troubleshooting hours on end to like get to a good spot, and everything that you said was true. Like, and everything has come true. So I think getting here, feeling it. I think giving space to understand your worries and your fears and your hesitations. And I don't know if by the time that I moved or made the decision, I don't know if actually I was 2 feet in yet, but I was 1.5 feet. And I think it got me to a point. I was like, hey, I know I still had fears. I knew that was still there, and I gave space to that. But to be able to like work through that, let those like put word onto that and talk about that, talk through that with you and a lot of the trusted people in my life, mentors that were in the industry and out of the industry, or maybe that have left my last organization or hadn't left my last organization. I got a wide array of people that I trusted that would want the best for me and want the best for my family. And it did take a little bit of faith and blind faith to make the move, but I think I'm here to do it, to make that happen, and I don't think there will be regret if you do it. Is where I stand.
Nice.
So,
thank you very much.
Yeah.